I think it's important for not only drivers, but teams to have an off week too. Be able to catch up a little bit, just be able to relax. Because we go a long time traveling and on the road a lot. It's nice to be able to disconnect for a little bit and kind of recharge for the second half of the season. So I'm excited for it. Not really going anywhere. We're going home and just haven't been home for a weekend and since the start of the year. So, but it is nice, like I said, not only for the drivers but especially the team guys too. Traveling as much as they do, being on the road as much as they do. All those guys have families, so it's good for them just as much as us.
They've been displaying parts recently, like we saw the 14s part today. Are drivers as curious as we are to see what other teams are doing with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was. I don't think anyone really knew the extent of the 14s deal, like what specific part was wrong. I heard it was a part of the NACA duct under the floor, but you don't know exactly what they did to it until they showed it. And honestly, I think it's good they show that stuff, right? I mean, I think that's right. If someone gets caught cheating or making their own parts, I think NASCAR should show, like, hey, this is what the spec part is, and this is what this team's done, and we got them for it. So, you gotta put it out there to the world, that stuff, right? Because that's how you police it more and more. So.
Ryan, obviously you won the Coke 600 last week at Gateway. You were really fast. What has been clicking for your team as of late, to where this as the summer's getting going here, your team has gotten going? What's been going on with you guys lately here?
Yeah, it's been a good few weeks for us, and I don't know, things have kind of gone smooth. I mean, the 600, we had a really fast race car, and the race just went smooth for us. We didn't make any mistakes, and we maximized our day, obviously. And, last week our car had winning speed, and it was one of those days where it didn't work out 100% for us, and we couldn't be up in the first row to kind of battle with the 8. I thought the 8 and I were actually pretty similar last week. It was just kind of who was out front, and the cautions at the end were just kind of wild, and you couldn't really go anywhere. But I don't know. I thought we've done a good job all year. It's just we found a little speed here recently, and then we've been kind of doing a really good job on pit road and not making mistakes, and it's shown up the last few weeks. So just a matter of keeping going. This summer stretch, there's a lot of funky tracks we're going to come to, and it's a big tester here for everybody getting going before the playoff.
How big of a weight is it that you finally got that win at the 600? I could tell on TV that there was a weight lifted off your shoulders getting that win. What did that do for you guys as you head now into the summer?
Yeah, it was just nice to not only win and get locked in the playoffs, and not have the stress that we had coming down to them last year. So that's nice. And I kept reminding our guys, hey, it's nice we got back in victory lane, all that stuff, and also appreciate what race we just won. We won a really big, important race, and don't overlook the race that we were able to win over the fact that we haven't won in a long time. We got back to victory lanes. Winning 600 is pretty big deal, pretty cool. So just nice. I was proud of everybody for doing their job, and it's been a tough year and a half on those guys too. And not being able to get in the victory lane when I feel like we've done a lot of things right in that period, it's just never really worked out for us. So I was happy for them too, just as much as I was happy for for myself to get back in victory lane. I'm super happy for the guys too, because they deserve it.
So along those same lines, then, I'm curious what the difference, how different you feel, where we are standing today as opposed to where we were, at the end of Daytona last year. Obviously, you get just going through that stretch, knowing how stressful it was to get to the end of the regular season. Where are you mentally, and the team? Where is the team mentally a year later?
Well, it's just always nice to kind of, know your fate, know that you're locked in. We go through the regular season last year, we're trying to win, and if you don't, you're not achieving that, you see other guys winning who are locked in, that's taking spots away. And even though we were high in points, you're like, well, it's probably going to get over 16 winners here, and we're going to be, out of luck if we don't win. So that was just, you try not to think about that stuff and get stressed out, but it was easily there. You hear about it every day and every week, and then when you're racing, you're seeing this happen in front of your eyes. So it's just nice to be, honestly, obviously win and be locked in the playoffs, but in a good zone right now of leading the points and having some strong runs here as of late, and just trying to continue to string those things together that's worked for us to get us to this point. So that's the biggest thing is it's a good headspace right now everything's kind of flowing, and you just try to continue to work on those things that have gotten us here, and you try to do that till the end of the year.
So obviously I'm sure everyone's ready for an off week, but is there some frustration in the fact that the off week's right when you guys have a hot hand?
Not really. No, I don't think so. I think it's when the off week's coming all year, so I don't know if, I don't think it helps or hurts you, if you have an off week right in kind of the middle of your, I don't think it hurts you if you're kind of on a good streak, and it might help you a little more if you're kind of down in the dumps and things aren't really going your way. It might be nice to kind of take a week off and kind of reevaluate, but no, I don't think it kind of breaks up our momentum at all. If anything, it kind of gives you confidence going into this off week. It's like, man, we've done a good job the last month. Let's go in the off week, enjoy it, and really get back to work at the start of the next week.
And then last question I had is, you guys are now the points leader. You vaulted after the last 2 weekends. Does that kind of change your strategy going forward, knowing that you guys might get the 15 bonus points at the end in August?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing to try to win, and it helps you through the playoffs. So, it's funny, you're before Charlotte, we were like 40 points out of the lead, and just 2 weekends of it shows you how quickly you can gain points and how quickly you can lose them. Like the one's had a couple bad weeks, and he's now 5th in points. So those things can kind of shift so quickly. So you're definitely, now that you're in it and you have a shot to win the regular season points, maybe you do something different in the heat of the moment, kind of during races. Okay, do you maybe take some stage points at this point if the guys you're racing aren't going to do that? So I don't think it's nothing we kind of sit around during the week and talk about. I think it's kind of in the moment stuff when it comes down to those types of situations.
Thank you.